Hey YouTube, the volume will be a wee bit lower in this video for good reason. I was saying before, like I normally turn the volume down for the bass amp. I've been using the one that's got Project Ray written on it there. It's a wee Stag 60 watt bass amp, which is lovely. I always liked it, but I found one yesterday that was at a price I just couldn't say no to, and I was thinking, oh, maybe something over there. So get this beast. This is the only reason it doesn't look absolutely massive is because it's beside this absolute behemoth. But so this is a Marshall Bass State B150, 15-inch speaker, heavy bastard. It really is. It's a good bit smaller than these cabinets. So literally I bought it just because it was cheap and I figured I could sit it in that corner. The thing that concerned me about it was volume. Like for when it's just sitting not on, or sitting on but you're not playing it. Bass amps generally tend to. This one's got a fan in it, so I mean you can't even turn this thing on in the house because it's got a fan that just so it's always on. Whereas this one is on just now and it's pretty much silent. You can actually hear it a wee bit because it's standing right up here. This will not be the permanent position for it because I need my guitar amp obviously. This is just really just to show it off. Yeah, so 150 watt. This one's 400, the two cabinets. It basically seems to be almost exactly the same features on it, same layout. So gain, preamp blend. So this is a valve state, so it's got a valve in the, so you can have it solid. You can dial it between solid state and valve, same as this one. Primary EQ, so you get bass and treble on here with a deep button. On this one you've got bass and treble with a deep button, and then you've got a bright button on the bright button, and this one is here. You've got a compressor here, you've got a compressor here. It's got a button there that turns it on, the button for it's over here on this one, and then you've got a gain. Well, and there's a graphic EQ. So basically on this one there's a button that turns on the graphic EQ, at least you can foot switch. Whereas this one, the graphic EQ is just on, and it seems to be pretty much the same. Annoyingly, it doesn't have all the same knobs. It did have the 6 knobs when I picked it up, but when I got it back here, it only had 4. And then I was looking at the picture of when I bought it, and there was 6 on it because I noticed it when I was trying it out in the guy's house. So 2 of them have fallen off, and I found one of them in the drive actually. But these knobs are like if you like shafts on a pot that are like sort of knurled, like for a guitar knob, and then you get ones that are just solid, like D-shaped. Well, the extra knobs that the guys put on are for the wrong type, so it's got like a wee bit of cardboard in it, so that's why they fell off. I'm going to invest in 4 new Marshall knobs. I have put, I don't know if you can see, I put a couple of chicken head knobs there on it. And I was like, chicken head knobs can be quite cool, but I don't like chicken head knobs on an amp. They look amazing, but they're far too easy just to knock it up to full, especially if you're talking about the volume control. It's too easy just to accidentally bash it up to complete full. So I'm just going to buy Marshall knobs. I haven't yet decided. There's a guy on eBay, so not real ones, copies. They're gold fronted ones, but the original ones for this seem to be a sort of brass colour. So I don't know whether to just bite the bullet and buy 6, or save myself £2 and just buy 4 and have 2 that are slightly different colour. But enough of that. So heavy. I'm going to put wheels on it. I tried putting wheels on it that I saved from my grand's old tea trolley, but they were too wobbly. I just don't think they would survive. So I'm going to put wheels on it because it's heavy. It's lacking handles on the side. It's got a handle in the front like that, but this thing is not. Yeah, see, physically I cannot lift it with that handle. It's just not possible, so I'm going to have to put side handles on it. So that would be my main gripe, would be the lack of side handles. So if you're basically, I'm thinking that 150 watts is probably giggable enough for small gigs. Because obviously I'm taking that to the Sabbath gigs just now, but this is smaller. This fits in the car without having to take the seats out, which is cool. And let's be honest, I don't know how much it would cost to hire an amp for a gig, but I probably paid less than this than it would cost to hire an amp for a gig. So I'll make some noise with it. This is me using which is just now my favourite bass. Maybe just because it's new. this Aria Pro one. It's dead difficult to gauge how loud this is because it's got the same thing which I get with this, whereas when you start turning it up, it doesn't really sound like it's getting any louder because it's so clean all the way. It sounds exactly the same at half volume as it does at 3/4 volume. I'm a bit concerned that this maybe doesn't go loud enough for gigging. I'm going to take it into the studio and try it out before I do any modifications on it. If I can get it to sit in that corner, it'll be amazing for sitting playing in the house. So if I play this and talk at the same time, can you still hear me talking? Put the compressor on. It's got a wee bit of a crackly volume control, so I wonder if maybe that's why it's not going as loud as I think it should do. There's no other videos. There's a couple of videos for this on YouTube, but one of them's a guy who can't play bass, trying to sell one, and another couple are like sort of foreign languagey ones. There's no talking, so this is the only one where you get a nice smelly person talking to you about it. So there we go. That's me with the tone control completely off on the bass, which is what I've been using for the Sabbath band. So that's in full. I'll turn it down a wee bit. This is the preamp blend, so that's me. Obviously, you've got a choice of solid state or valve. You're going to choose valve all the way, or I am anyway. So that's solid. This is valve. It's making a difference. That's it, solid state. Turn off the limiter. Yeah, so I reckon the valve is a cool thing. I suppose it depends on what sort of music it is you're playing. For me, it's like, you know, sort of 70s stuff. It's good. These valve states does actually have a real valve in it. Not that you can see it. There's an air vent on the top. I don't know. Maybe if I shone a torch, I'd be able to see it. But the valve states do actually have a valve in them. So one valve. Mind you, that's the same. So look at one valve in it. Yeah. So I would use. I'll maybe dive behind it. The thing I do maybe quite like about the idea of having the blend control is if the valve breaks, because obviously valves can blow and damage. At a gig, you just put solid state, you don't need the valve. So that's probably a good thing to have anyway, almost just like a bypass switch. I don't know if you'd really want to blend it, just put it in the middle. Bass up. It's quite a powerful bass control. Back to 0. Deep button. What about bass and deep and tone control off? Oh. Okay, I think it is actually really loud. I'd imagine you can probably hear this all the way down the street. This would be basically just testing to see what the knobs do. I've not really had any time to fidget about with it. Yeah, those are really effective. Plus and minus 15 decibels on each one of the... So that's basically the same as what it's doing on the EQ, on the graphic EQ. Yeah, bright switch. Maybe that'll make a difference if we get the tone control turned up. Yeah, let's make it a little bit brighter. That was John Entwistle. Bright and deep in. Oh. Yeah, so I'm pretty impressed with it actually. I mean, you'd actually be sick if I told you how much this cost. So apart from the knobs, a couple of the knobs being missing. So I mean, I think there's £2 for two, so they're like £1 each. So I spend £6 and blow out and getting brand new knobs all the way. And there's a wee bit of rip on the Tolex on the bottom, but that's because the rubber feet that are meant to be on it, they were missing. Well, one of them wasn't missing, so that's why then obviously to stop the bottom getting ripped. But I mean, that's on the bottom. If I take that down, you won't even see it. The rest of it seems to be totally solid. I mean, and I love this amp. It's just so flipping big to be absolutely ridiculous. And it kind of, see, when you've got the choice of having a 1x15 cab or a 4x10 cab, you want both because it sounds better having the sort of punches instead of the 10s and the big 15. When I used to gig in the Blind Dug years and years ago, I used to take the 15 just because it weighs significantly less than the 4x10 physically, but obviously ideally you want both. I was in the studio on Sunday there playing through a 4x10, but basically this sort of size, and because I'm doing the Sabbath stuff, I had pretty much anything that said treble on it and on the bass at nothing because it was just too punchy. So I think a 1x15 is actually better for doing the Black Sabbath stuff, because I don't need punchiness, I just need a big woomph coming out the bottom. So I think it might be quite usable. And actually looking at it, it is physically smaller than this 15 cab, so I'm thinking maybe as a sort of secondary thing, I think I might need to break into it to do this, but it'd be quite cool if I could run that as just as a 15-inch speaker, and then use this head, because that means it's slightly smaller, a bit more portable, a little bit more portable, especially once I put wheels on it. And I use this head, and if something, God forbid, goes wrong with this head, I've got a spare amp that's just built into the cabinet. What I was thinking about gig-wise, assuming it goes loud enough, which to be honest I think it's going to, I think 150 watts is big enough to go gigging. I'm pretty sure that the amp pegs in the studio are like 200 watts, so I like the idea of having 150 watts running at more like full bung rather than having a 400 watt up at half. You know what I mean? This thing I had, I was playing gigs, so it was like sort of right about there, and it was so goddamn loud. You know, sometimes you feel your trousers flapping a little bit. This thing was absolutely just making the whole floor. You could feel it through the floor, just going on every note. It's just absolutely humongous. I think a lot to do with bass amps. It's just the downright damn weight of the bastards. I mean, I was drilling holes trying to put those the wheels into it. The wheels I've decided I don't like, and the plywood's about that thick. I suppose it could be 2 or 3 bits, but I mean, or whatever it's made of is, you know, it's really, really chunky. Maybe slightly less chunky than that one. But I think these two are a sort of similar era. I believe that this might actually be based on this as a sort of budget version of the Monster. That's actually quite rattly, whereas that isn't. I wonder if I've maybe not tightened those screws up enough. Yeah. Also, to mention, for gigging, it's got a DI straight on the front, which is cool, with like an earth lift, which I can't remember what it does, but I know that sometimes that's a really important thing. And effects, send and return. This does have them, but they're on the back, and a line out. On this one, I believe it's got this section on the back, but it's a little bit more advanced. I think I've got a pre-EQ or a post-EQ switch on the back of this for the DI box, and also some sort of variable thing, a variable effects return. There's a knob on the back anyway, so it's basically got that unit on the back of this one as well. This has also got a wee volume control, whereas this has got a big massive volume control. So yeah, so this will be interesting though. I'll see if I can get it to fit in that corner. I don't want to lose those 2 guitars on the wall space wise, but I think looking at it height wise, I think it's going to be alright. Also, it looks good having a big massive wall of Marshalls. Obviously, the more Marshalls the better. So I'll get back to you once I know what this is doing. If it's good enough to play along with the band. If it's good enough to play along with the band, I think I totally want to watch for this thing. I totally don't want to tell Craig, the guitarist in Black Sabbath, how much I just paid for this. He would absolutely puke if he saw me, playing along. I mean, he's got a handmade Flynn amp, 1,500 quid or something like that anyway, plus a cabinet, which is probably half of that, and a Gibson SG, and I'm playing through like sort of £50 in total and keeping up. So it should be interesting. But the good amp, I would recommend it if you're looking at this, not just listen to me but actually thinking of getting one. Yes, good amp. So far, my only criticism is it doesn't have handles on the side, and it is heavy. But I mean, the heaviness is part of the sound, I think. It seems to be absolutely lovely. So looking forward to doing more bass videos, and if I can get this over there, it'll just be a bit nicer. And one thing, it's like it comes down to the most stupid of things. Like the reason I'm not super loving that. Well, basically just the price, but the problem with that is it's got the knobs are on the top, so you can't put anything on top of it, and also the switches on the top. Whereas this one's got them on the front, so I can pile shit on top of this. Even though it's got an air vent, so you probably shouldn't be piling stuff on top of it. But I mean, even just the wee stupidest of ideas makes something good or not as good. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the wee Project Ray one. I I love that wee amp. It's brilliant. I'm actually going to try and sell it to my pal, just for peanuts, just so it's not going. It's going to a good home sort of thing. Because I used to gig with that 60 watt, and it totally did the job. Fair enough, I wasn't playing Black Sabbath, I was playing funk, but I mean it totally did it. I don't maybe not at full bung, but I mean, you know, it was sort of up at the point where you're actually getting to use the amp. You know, the problem with, you know, these things is this thing's on at half power or something like that, and it's so loud it sounds like an airplane taking off. You know, your teeth start rattling and stuff. And it's the same with, you know, the Sovtech, which is actually sitting there just now. It's like you can't actually crank them to anything like what they've been designed to do because they're just so damn loud. So basically, modern days, I think when you're playing, if I'm playing on stage, that would be basically I'm really only going to be using it as a monitor sort of thing, and then obviously the DI goes into the desk, and then the sound guys get control over the big subs and stuff. But I think that's I'm quite looking forward to it. I just need to wheels and handles, and new knobs ready to rock. Yeah, I'm also tempted. It's got a metal grill on it. I'm also tempted to do a. If it's going to work and I'm going to be using it for gigs, I'm tempted to paint the front grill. You know, I put Project Ray thing on the front of that one. I'm thinking of doing maybe try to get the, you know, stenciling out the After the End, which is the Black Sabbath band logo, and maybe stenciling that on in purple or something. That'd be quite cool, but I don't know. Depends how well it works. It might just, if it doesn't cut it, then it doesn't cut it, and it'll be fine for sitting in a corner, and it's absolutely lovely for in the house. But I think for any normal band, it would be fine. It's just when you're doing the Sabbath thing, you know, it's like I've got to be an absolute thundering wall of death. And Craig, the guitarist, he's got his very expensive amp turned up full whack anyway. You know, it's really, really flipping loud. So if it doesn't compete, it won't compete. It was actually quite funny when I turned up with that, and it's like even his I think it's only a 50 watts, a Marshall type, you know, head and 4x12 cabinet. That thing can absolutely drown it out. You know what I mean? That's just like because it's so stupidly big. It's like there's absolutely no point in having something that size at all, apart from it totally looks amazing, especially on stage. I mean, when we did the first gig with the Sabbath band, there was actually a riser at the back, so it's not only was it not that high, you know, it was that higher up. So I was turning the volume up like this, you know, it's like, and I was getting the 15 was on the bottom, and it was, you know, coming into my midriff, and the 10s were just amazing. Okay, Jesus, I've talked for 20 minutes. Rock and roll!